Hey guys, Dylan Sider with Kinfo Carpentry here, and today we're going to install some double doors. So stick around. So, I kind of start by stripping everything off the door, obviously all the packaging, but I remove both doors from the jamb. I don't set them all as one unit. I have a couple videos on where I set just normal doors, but double doors are a little tricky. Usually I just set the hinge side and then I set my reveals to the door after it's hanging. These are a bit different. So I'm taking it down to the jamb, removing the slabs out of the jamb, and just setting the jamb. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm taking the pins out and removing the doors. All right. So first things first, always check the floor. It's at a level. About a pencil thickness, a little less. So maybe 5/16 of an inch. It's at a level. So I will cut 5/16 off this side to make that head level up top. Need a little more light. It's kind of dark up here. So I got the jamb in the opening, and I'm gonna check the head. I'll show you. All right, bam. So I cut a 1/4 inch off of that side over there, and that makes that head level. And now what I'm gonna do, just see how much room I have in between. I'm gonna wanna try to push the door as much as I can that way because I don't have a lot of room here. I want to get as much trim as I can here. So I'm going to try to shift that as much as I can. Yeah, so I mark each one of my hinge points because that's where I like to shim. Start my shims there. Obviously I add shims where needed after the fact, but it's a good starting point. Sorry, I'm shooting from some weird angles. I forgot my my large tripod, so I'm just working off a tiny one I have. So I'm gonna have a lot of ground shots in this video. But right now, I'm just leveling all my shims. If drywall overhangs or jam at all, I just smash it out of the way so I can get my shims in. So, this is what I got. Basically set my top, and then I'm just leveling my shims out. Because I find when I first started doing doors, I would like set the jamb in, and then I would try to like shim the jamb level. I'd be like constantly doing this and like fiddling with them, trying to get it all level. And then like struggling to fasten it and keep my shims in place. That's what I like to do. Just fasten my shims so I know that I have a perfectly level substrate to put my jamb against, right on my hinges. Go from there. And then I set my top, then my bottom, then my middle. Bam. All right, so I've got my door fastened. I'm using just a 2.5 inch GRK screw going right through my shims here and underneath my hinge here. I would love to put them there, but then I feel like that's hard to fill and paint and It's an annoying spot, so I always place them a little bit underneath, making sure I'm not sucking that jam too tight there, and creating a dip but as you can see there, bam, nice and level. And I see a little bit of light there, which is fine. I'm gonna shim that after my doors are in place and get a nice reveal. But I'm more or less just looking to make sure that I'm level on where I need to be. So level top and bottom. And so now I am going to shim this side before the doors go in. And that's why I like to use screws that are accessible on double doors, because a lot of times you need to adjust and pull things back out a little bit. And it's nice when your shims are nailed, because you know, you don't pull your screw out and all your shims fall out and then you're like trying to shim it again. You can just kind of actually just take a hammer and just tap them through. If you need to go a little more, you can just tap them through the nails and they stay in place still. So yeah, that's why I like to use these screws. So now it's time to put the doors on. I got this shimmed kind of roughly where I want it. I didn't shim at this hinge. I'm kind of just having them tacked, because a lot of times these need adjustment after they're hanging, and I don't want to pump it full of screws to find out I need to pull them out and readjust. All right, so I have a decent reveal there, but it's big down here. I'm tight down here, and I'm big up here. So what that tells me is that hinge needs to go over. So if I shim that hinge over, it will lift that door up, bring this up, and it'll close that gap. So that's what I need to do next. So I think I've got this as good as I'm gonna get it. Sometimes you're limited to how good you can get all your reveals by the quality of the doors. I'm having a bit of a trouble with a nice reveal down here. The hinge is routed too deep, and it's making that reveal really tight, which I don't like. But like everything else is pretty good. My gap in the middle is a little bit big, but that's due to my head length, you know? I would have liked that head to just come in maybe a 16th or an 8th, and that would have brought the whole door in like this, which would have gave me a better reveal in the middle. But you know, it's pretty good all the way down. So I'm moving on to the next one. I think we're good. Here's a prime example of manufacturing defect. See my reveal here? So that's affected by where that hinge was routed to that jam rabbet there. Look at on this side. It's massive. So that's what you're getting. And that looks like garbage. So what I have to do to fix that is I'm gonna have to cut that lower and drop this jam. But then in turn, that's gonna make my jam out of level, and I'll have to shim up this jamb so that it makes it level across here. That won't matter because this gets carpet, so that can be up off the floor a little bit, not a big deal. But it's annoying with a brand new door that's what you run into. That's life. That's life, folks, with working with not perfect material. And these are expensive doors. These are solid core. They're actually a very nice product, but just manufacturing is gone downhill. So, yep, now I gotta spend time to fix it.